Hello everyone and welcome to a slightly scuffed Mapman site of the next Rivals Pro match between Moo and ThatObserver. I think it's not even the first, but now the second loser bracket round 1 match. Of course, that means the loser will be eliminated, but the winner can move on and begin their route back to the final. Should be a long one because I believe there will be 6 rounds before the grand final, but obviously always possible here. We are just getting ready for the map pick and ban phase, also known as map draft. Still 7 maps in the pool. For some reason Whittleton Creek doesn't want to appear, but they shoot for them and we will see the first map banned in just a couple seconds. And in that couple seconds I can still welcome my co-caster. Hello Jokerj.
Hello everyone, happy to be here.
And they got the call now and we will see first from Moo what the map will be, which first map will be banned, and then of course another ban on Observer's side, followed by the 2 picks, and another 2 bans will decide the last map, which will be the decider. Out of Scale is the first ban, as I just realized that I don't think I shared this with you, this page, but of course it's not a whole lot to see there. And now it's on Observer's side, and we for some reason the whole right hand side just doesn't want to work for me. We have a ban from Observer and the pick from Moo already. We'll catch up very shortly. I believe Haven Island was the ban by Observer, and we can see the 2 picks, Whittleton Creek and Berlin, and we will get of course to the second round of bans. Hokkaido first, and that leaves us Miami and Sapienza for the final 2, from which Observer can select the Observer, the decider, sorry, which is Sapienza. So, Whittleton Creek yet again, Berlin yet again, and maybe Sapienza, possibly for the first or second time. Hasn't been as popular. So we have the 3 maps, and I will have to be working on the first item ban, so that will be the reason why I'm a bit silent for the next bit.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable to talk for a little bit. Of course, Whittleton Creek will be the first map coming up, and here the most common bans, as of every map, has been Trank Darts and the Seeker, and we have had some variation. Of course, you ban the Crowbar against Rocky. Of course, that eliminates one of the exits very quickly. Remote domestic device as well. And that against the meme strat, I'm pretty sure, where you're allowed to put that into the letterbox, so you can get him sick at that time. And I think we also saw Rocky ban a bat or something along those lines.
It was legendary. Yeah, the new bat was banned in the first map and the shurikens in the second one. Gotta love the guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so there we've seen nailed on bans. There's none of Tranks and Seeker on this map, but again, that is a pattern for most maps really. But of course, things like the Crowbar will be almost map specific, especially on Whittleton Creek, where for some of the exits you do need that Crowbar to exit. And Crowbars on Whittleton, you don't pass one very often as well, really. Most of the time, so it could be another reason to why you ban it potentially as well.
We just got the 2 bans, and while I'm typing it out, I won't say it slowly, but I can say it quickly. It is the Emetic Gas device from the Observer and the Seeker from Moo, which should be the 2 banned items, and I think we should be getting ready for a start at 05, which means we can go to match screen now. And quickly set up that first spin, which will be another life, and of course the bans are still the Emetic device and the Seeker. I bet the lots of typing are great to hear, but 30-minute map duration, updating the timers. And that seems like a spin that is ready for just under 1 minute. And we can see the match start very shortly. Very emetic-less. first affair. And as you said it very well, I think. Oh, great. As you said it very well, the Matic has been a newish strat, especially the device on the Meme Junkie strat, detonating at a very specific time, which is 1 minute 47 seconds, by the way. Of course, you have to make it that way. You can get a really nice ISO on Nolan, but it won't happen this time because, of course, the Matic device are not found on any of the other maps as well. And yeah, 5 more seconds, and I think I can let you run down the first spin when it arrives, and half an hour is going now.
Yeah, so we have Janus assault rifle as the construction worker, and explosive weapon Cassidy as the suit. Shoei could scream Moon Junkie strap potentially right away, but with that remote hermetic device being banned, it does unfortunately sway away from that very quick start that you could see from both players.
Yeah, and I think these are the nice catches which the game mode best excels at. The tiny bit of variations of strats. You would want to use the device, but you can't, so you have to come up with something else, something not much slower, not much worse, but just throws you off a tiny bit, and hopefully you can have a perfect storm in one of the spins where everyone will be thrown out of the window. But no doubt, of course, this is a suit start. Mu is the suit-only speedrunner, probably the most famous one and the maybe not the fastest one currently, but of course the very well versed of that. And of course going for a quick suit isolation with the peekaboo going into the sedative poison. Peekaboo is very important because otherwise the body will be seen. I think there is still a risk there now that Nolan has stopped, but still the green guns will ensure that first kill.
Yeah, and straight away we see Sway's strat differently. Observer's going to deal with Janus first and wants backtrack, so you have to knock out Janus. Go get that construction worker from across the map and then come back. Moo's just going to do it all clean one route really. He can get Nolan Cassidy down straight away, get the kill on straight away, get the construction worker and the 2 clues over here. And of course the one on Spencer, as he will of course get sedated. So yeah, that'd be very efficient from Moo. Observer maybe not as comfortable with this strat maybe. And we'll be going this slower, safer route potentially, and getting Nolan into the back garden where we and into his garage even where we usually see him isolated.
Slightly worryingly, Observer is approaching the Janus household in the suit with the explosive weapon. Hopefully that's not going to be a kill mix-up. Also, importantly, Moo did not get the first kill. He had the whole setup, but decided not to use the breacher on Janus. I'm not sure if he actually has a breacher, but suit starts of course allow for a very flexible loadout.
I think he started. I think he smuggled it in Janus' back garden. Not Janus', Batty's garden. So we should see him go and grab that now potentially with the clues, and almost do that instead of bringing it with him straight away. To allow him to bring a sedative vial and the AR, so he can go across quickly to Janus without having to swage the park or whatever to get his AR in the stash.
Yeah, since the suit start requires the sedative poison, you can't have a detour for that, otherwise you are late. It makes a lot of sense to just go straight for the poison opportunity and the isolation, and 2 minutes and 12 seconds in he already has 1 kill and all 3 clues down, so definitely nice progress by Moo as Observer tries to get around the Janus household. And I think that should be doable by now. A second KO, last one on Janus, who doesn't see anything at the start of the conversation, just looks down while talking to Helen. Still the suit ISO, but luckily no wrong kill yet. I think it's just going to be assault rifle close to the exit as the construction worker a couple minutes later.
Yeah. And Moo down the first kill. Should be fine to hopefully leave these bodies here. Just needs to find his Cassidy bodyguard. Disguise before running over with this rifle to Janus. Of course has to get construction worker and doesn't have a briefcase, so it might have to go across the map as the construction worker with an AR. However, especially on Whittleton Creek and all the back gardens, it's not exactly the hardest of things to do. It's definitely one of the easier things on the map to transport a weapon just out around the map.
Yeah, this part isn't planned, judging by Moo's camera shake, but this part of the map it doesn't have a lot of NPCs and you can just drop and re-equip the weapon, which is no problem if you're far enough away from the next NPC. It's also satisfying to do the same with the hatchet or the fire axe. Just throw it as far as you can and pick it up a couple meters later. But Moo is now going to go through the party. No one PC is here, so that's good for them. And another hop over the fence means that he's in the clear now for sure. Just missing that Janus ISO and kill. Still nice green guns for everyone all throughout this game so far. As Observer, hopefully he won't turn on any source of proximity conversation, which Nolan will start. Oh, good for Moo, because that window could be tricky sometimes, but I think the guard wasn't looking through the window, so that's fine for him. And yeah, I think that should be in the end here, because all objectives done quickly, nicely, and Observer sadly with the proxy conversation, so won't be able to get that first setup. Of course, still would be missing the Janus skill and the clues. And even though we can see the rest of the spin play out for the Observer, it is going to be really close now, unless Moo gets caught just passing here, going for the crowbar. Causing problems for others before, causing problems for Moo today as well, but no restart and back to the safe zone. And that should be the finish here now. Of course, unless someone sees the opening of this manhole, but everyone's far away, so Moo gets it. So GG's to Moo, and we're going to go to Whittleton Creek after this next admin message.
Yeah, next map after this is Berlin. I've been in a lot of talks with Observer, and it does seem to be his more comfortable map, of course. Pitch against me in his last game. So I definitely need someone who's more comfortable maps and one that isn't comfortable for others. So that's a nice jump to have maps like Mendoza, Berlin, and Haven to be really comfortable on their maps where most of the other players aren't is a real good strength to have for Observer here.
Yeah, Observer needs to be in this Berlin. Very much spin dependent, of course, if it will be a quick affair or something that will cheap up most players. We have the first bench, I almost mentioned. I guess it doesn't matter, but I will let Observer think about it for a second. And once we have the second ban, of course, we will have the next countdown. It's usually shorter in these tournaments because this is already part of the break. And we don't want to have that much downtime. It's supposed to be just quick best of threes, at least before the final, which is going to be best of 5. First to 3 point wins it. And I think this is fine. I need to check something though. For a certain ban from that Observer, if that should be the way it's possible. Okay, yeah, that's thankfully Punky has a really nice and detailed rule set, so my question was answered, and we'll let you guys know that Moo's silence pistol ban was followed by that Observer's all tasers ban. So no micro taser, no proxy taser, no remote taser. All 3 are banned. If I can find now the appropriate page, then we can go to the next map.
Yeah, the silence pistol ban from Moo is interesting because it's one of the most. It's a staple thing you always put on Berlin, of course. Literally everything you can find on Berlin. Trains you don't really need because most of the guys over on the targets all really simple to go without anything. You usually see a Seeker pistol combo really, especially that pistol with suits die. It's basically what you need to get it started by knocking out the security guards and green on the roof. Of course, with a couple of distractions. So double without, but does make it slightly more challenging. So a nice tactical ban from Mu there, and the ban of tasers from Observer. Again, for the executions, they'll make it hard, but of course you have the greenhouse with roads and the little switch and water cooler in level -2, which Chamberlain and Montgomery go through to get them electrocution opportunities on.
Obviously, this doesn't mean that electrocution is gone, so that's a good point. Lots of opportunities there, itemless as well, but of course this doesn't mean electrocution will be forced either. The one thing that matters though is that after some consideration and a punky clarification yesterday, if players ban the silenced pistol in Berlin, then while you may technically get a silenced pistol from Agent Price from the bus stop start, it is definitely not a good watch, so it's basically an exception. Silence pistols will be ruled out from the spin as well, and this spin does in fact have no silence pistol kills. $30 still then, and of course big question is suit spin or not, rollable or not, and if it is bad, which it may or may not be, how bad will it be with the detours or whatnot. 15 seconds until we find out. So here we go. ThatObserver needs to win this one to stay alive in Rivals Pro, and his objective is this: to beat Mu on the following Berlin spin: Battle Axe Dealer, Falling Object Bartender, Concealable Knife DJ, Old Axe Technician, Assault Rifle Club Security. Three lethal melees there, most famously, infamously, the Old Axe, far away from the map. Battle Axe isn't super obvious to get, but I think the Biker Hangout is good enough to get, and the Concealable Knife is on top, carried by green if you don't want to bring it in, which you probably shouldn't. Indeed, the dealer returns with a very interesting puking cycle. I found out yesterday that he starts puking in the bucket in the storage room next to the red bathrooms, or like the downstairs bathrooms, but then he turns towards you for a second, and then you can miss out on that if you are not paying enough attention, but hopefully they will. Suit start for Mu, Biker start for Observer, and grabbing the Battle Axe already.
Observer bringing Kruger?
Think you need to check that one.
I'm pretty sure that counts as a silence pistol because the ICA variants and the Kruger are involved in that.
Yep, that would be for sure. And gonna DM.
Don't snitch normally, but I did see an inventory as almost a pre-plan, but I didn't know if he was going to change that as he went in. Obviously not, as and we do have a Kruger from Observer, so I guess we will see a replan soon from him.
Yep.
Very nice start, grabbing all that straight away before heading off onto the rooftop. Of course, green. You can isolate any time, really isn't exactly the hardest of things to isolate, and you can just use a throw extraction over the Raiden here really to get this guard to stand up. And then likewise, Banner is always very doable. We do see an early rip from Mu, so that is a catch-up from Observer really. So him bringing the Kruger has not made much of a difference as they both restart at very similar times.
Yeah, after all, Observer has the marginally higher in-game time, and we could see from Mu's perspective that grabbing the Old Axe brings you back to the starting point about 40 seconds later, so you can just add that to any Berlin spin automatically, and that's the cost of getting this kill item. But of course you have to get it at some point, and you have to get a technician at one point as well, but with the very famous widespread use of the banner lure, I don't think the technician disguise will be the harder one to get.
Yeah, and bringing that Old Axe straight away, you can get that first kill done very quickly, so this is a nice start from Mu here. All we have to do is knock out green, initiate the banner, and the technician will just run up to you for free, really.
Now, of course, just a very short message about why Mu ripped or what happened there. Of course, that's a very nice distraction for the guard, but sometimes he can stand up a bit slower, and your habit is to throw the item and then run up immediately, but sometimes you are too quick for that, and it was Mu just getting caught up by that by a very tiny amount. But now both players with two-handed melee items in their hands and approaching their first target, falling object for ThatObserver probably, since he's the bartender. But he is late for Davenport, so it will be probably just isolation on top roof. Top floor.
Yeah, no issue from Observer. Picking up the considerable knife from Green, which is needed for the spin. So again, it's not something that with Berlin you could bring a lot of these melees in, but especially things like combat knife, where Green is basically isolating every single spin. It's better off just have something else in your loadout than that.
Of course, Observer can still get a nice falling object here, and he's eyeing up Agent Thames under the crane. I'm not sure if he actually stops there on his way back, but it is just a nicely... well, I was gonna say it's a nice bullet distraction, but it's not the semi-automatic, it's the fully automatic AR. But hopefully he stands under the crane, not just yet, I believe. So needs to wait one more step perhaps. Yeah, he's outside the windows. Sadly, Observer, I don't want to say it's the wrong assault rifle, but for this objective, the semi-automatic would have been better with just the one bullet. It's unfortunate for him. Can get the assault rifle kill in the meantime.
Yeah, we see Mu both sprung in the assault rifle in the overpass, and of course being the semi-automatic one, and gets that kill down. So now 1 kill ahead, Observer. But we should see another isolation soon for him.
And I think I know what's gonna happen here. If it was settings, then it's probably a exploit. It is an itemless drop in Berlin, totally allowed here, if you can make it happen. It is a sort of risk versus reward, because the reward for here is that you can drop so many floors at the same time, basically a 30 to 45 second staircase walk down all the way to level -2, and Mu has succeeded with that. Back the resolution scale, it's kind of genius to say. Of course, like not the first ever player to do so, but I think it's important to mention. Nice drop by Mu. Observer still eyeing for the falling object. He's late for Swan, he's early for Davenport. Thames' cycle is a bit messed at the moment, but we'll be looking to clear out this area a bit more for safety. But we're getting closer to that second kill by the Observer. Mu is also eyeing out an isolation. I think that's Montgomery, because his guard was nearby. Oh, no, it's Chamberlain. Mu pausing.
It is the right call, I just checked. So maybe it could be a little bit of confusion, of course. I think, as I'm presented with Berlin spinning this, if you have the zoom like 100% free on the monitor, like you do have to scroll down. So I can see if there's any confusion from you. I totally understand it.
Yeah,
especially on a big map like Berlin. But yeah, better safe than sorry, really. But he would be throwing it, so he couldn't have done much more really if he hadn't. Now he's on the way to the dealer grab here.
Yeah, I think my favorite part was that he paused to check the spin after the lock-on has let go, so when the concealable knife was still flying in the air, but of course still the right kill, as Mu is now going to get this dealer grab, and in all likelihood it's going to be more successful than yesterday's players. Look at the dealer running here and turning away. It's a nice blind spot. The two technicians are nearby, and of course the checkpoint guard, as well as Chamberlain, could be on a cycle, but of course he's now dead. So Mu with a very important grab here. Just a bit worried about leaving, but he can exit this trespassing area nice and safe.
Yeah, very nice from Mu here. Now we see Observer running to get the old axe and on the track that he was on. Guessing he will then do Bannerlord then, if he has not already. But yeah, of course, he has the old axe, battle axe even, on the roof as well, so has both of them melees down. However, not, and now just has to wait for Montgomery to come down these stairs. But I'm guessing he'll knock out his guard and Montgomery. Then go to wherever he wants to get the battle axe.
Yeah, I don't think this ISO was planned beforehand, but he's kind of cornered by Montgomery, of course, just passing, and you can't just pacify him because the guard would see it. Leaves him up as expected, and he's now going towards the battle axe and probably going to throw that into one of the biker agents.
Yeah. Now we see the old axe kill done for Observer. Similarly on Thames, which is a really nice station on Thames. That little law where you panic him to get him upstairs. So nice from Observer. Both the AR and old axe killed on both players. However, different second kills. Observer doing the fallen object as the bartender, Moo using a concealable knife as the DJ antechamber.
Moo, of course, trying to get that first the biker ISO, because you would most likely eliminate Lowenthal here, and the battle axe is really close here. Just going to lure him around this map geometry, just a random box, and guard is still panicking in the background, but I would say it's probably nice and safe, far enough away. He's still down, but of course there's still the risk what happens if he gets closer. Some 10 seconds for Moo, but the guard is now back in normal, and the guard will be back in the normal hiding position. Observer bringing the battle axe down, still no dealer. Moo now getting the battle axe, and we'll be on 4 out of 5 in just a couple of seconds, and that will leave him with falling object bartender, am I right?
Yeah, bartender fallen object, and Davenport will walk outside in what, just over a minute and a bit really. So if he can get this kill done properly soon, he will be in the clear here. I hope this biker is walking close for his liking. I'll say him. I guess we'll see a knockout onto him soon.
Very ominous, but from cover, easy to throw, and no one else is in range to hear that frontal KO. So Moo will be on 4 out of 5, and in my memories it is a 905 consume poison kill for Davenport, so you naturally would expect it in the high 8 minutes for the falling regret kill, but it might be tight for him. However, Thames is still up, so I think with enough backups, Moo can get this done before the 10-minute mark. Swan is still up, so that's 3 potential falling objects, sorry.
It's not hard to grab either, of course. Free Skies being there, so it's a real quick grab, really. Bag of bricks for Downfall can be shot through everybody, and if you have Instinct available, it's nice and easy. And then you have Thames here as well, so there are lots, and Swan with a disco ball. So there are lots he can grab here. As you go off the keys, the delivery keys for his exit.
Yeah, that's the last half objective, to get the key for exiting, because he would be trespassing the biker compound, so wants the quickest exit. Now has the keys actually, and it was a slightly scary moment because the head started to turn, but no problems there. And what Moo needs now is just 1 falling object, and he's through to the second round. Just need, of course, Thames to come back, and there will be no bullet distraction there, just the SMG spray eventually. He's looking at Davenport now, he's realizing that he could have done Davenport, but it's not a whole lot of time lost there. Of course you can see the match is kind of close, but won't be decisive, but Observer will get the... Oh, that's amazing, he has 2 concealable knives, so he brought it in with his loadout. But gets it from green as well, and that's the 4th kill. Moo is on 5, however, and will be exiting now to win the match.
just a little bit too slow for Observer. Of course, no, would just need Dealer, Disguise, and another isolated target, and would be so close to an exit. But Moo on both maps, sort of say, was just so efficient in his method, and had that idea right from the start, especially on Whittleton Creek, to be so far ahead for Observer, with possibly the most efficient shot you could have done with that spin. It's just really impressive for Moo. Put on a good show today.
Very nicely done, and it was. So the back and forth is not quite right for this map, but it was so close, and you could see the advantage closing in, and then Moo gaining a bit more again, and that 1 kill lead has stayed throughout for 5-4, very close Berlin, and yeah, a nice even match. Just of course both maps falling to Moo's side, so he will be in the second round of the lower bracket. And I am working on the brackets right now so that I can show you guys in just a moment. Nice, things do not update as I want, but second try would probably do it. Yes, we can now transition nicely. Sadly, this is the end of the ThatObserver's round, sorry, rebrand still ongoing. But Moo will play Phanium for a very highly anticipated loser bracket round 2 matchup, and the winner will play either Matty Spice or the winner of Mika versus Rocky in losers round 3. So it's a long bracket still, lots of spicy matchups for sure, and we will have LB round 1 finished by tonight, which was the objective of this tournament, and then we have until I think Tuesday-ish, but at least the next 3 days to get through the next 2 or 3 rounds of the loser bracket, so we'll see a lot of more progress. Of course, sadly a lot more people eliminated, but that's how it goes in these tournaments, of course. Thing I can show here is the upcoming matches tab. 2 more matches for the evening. This Friday evening had 3 of them, and very nicely spaced out, 2 hours from each other. My co-caster Jokerj will play Iannini at 8 PM, which is in 90 minutes from now, and then at 10 PM Jokerj will join me again to cast Mika vs Rocky, the last match of the evening. Any takeaways from this match, Joker?
Right, and we just saw, Observer just didn't do much wrong today. Had the strats shared. Unfortunately too slow, and Moo just showing how good of a player he is. So just have a 4-minute Wilson right off the bat, and do it on Berlin, have a very small rip. Didn't let that affect him really, and just go do a 10-minute flat spin. Just shows how dominant of a player he can be on this day.
It was really nice to see a close match. I think both players played very well, and of course would have swept their own matches or like other matches with their virtually first tries. Of course, there were some very early restarts, but solid plays by both. Only one can advance though, and it will be Moo today. So that should be it from us today. GG's to both Moo and ThatObserver. Thank you, Jokerj, for joining me for this co-cast.
Anytime.
And thank you everyone for watching. Until the next match, see you everyone.